Let me ask you a question. How much money did you spend last year and this year already as we approach the end of January on feeling better? Think the meditation subscription, the gym membership that you probably hardly use or maybe never use, the supplements that are lined up on your kitchen counter or in a designated cabinet or pantry, the jade roller, the dry skin brush, the meal prep containers, all the things. How much money have you spent so far? See, the thing is, we've been told that wellness is something that you can buy. But what if I told you that wellness and well-being aren't even the same thing? And that confusing the two may be the exact reason why you are not feeling as good as you think you should feel or deserve to feel. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, my name is Dixie Lincoln Nichols, and I believe in the wholeness and the expansiveness of well-being. On this channel, I talk about all things well-aging and lifestyle. So wellness seems to be everywhere, right? Think about it. You cannot scroll on social media for 5 seconds without seeing somebody's 5 a.m. routine, their green or purple smoothie, their organized drawer of supplements. Listen, I'm not here to shame anyone. If these things genuinely make you happy, great. But I am here to share my perspective about wellness versus well-being and what that means for you. I think many of us have realized that we can do all the right things and still feel empty, still feel like something's missing. And that's because we're chasing wellness when what we actually need is well-being, and they are not the same thing. So today I want to break down exactly what that difference is, why the wellness industry benefits from you not knowing, and how you can actually start feeling better without buying all the things. Let's get into it. So first, let's talk about wellness. Wellness as an industry. The global wellness market is worth over $4.5 trillion. Trillion with a T. Wellness sells you solutions. It tells you if you're stressed, buy this candle. If you're tired, take this supplement. If you don't like your body, join the gym or this gym or buy this program or buy or drink this shake. And here's the genius and the problem with the wellness industry. It's designed to make you feel like you're never quite there. You're getting there, but you're not there. And they've got the solution to get you there. There's always another level, another optimization, another thing to get you there, another thing to buy. And let me just preface all of this by saying, I know how this works because I too was in the wellness industry and I still am in the wellness industry. But I truly believe that it can be done ethically and it can be done genuinely with concern for the recipients of the resources that are being offered. And so that's kind of what I am doing today is breaking it down so that you can understand how to move through this space with discernment so that you're not left with all the things and less money in your pocket and you're feeling better, which is ultimately the goal, right? And don't get me wrong, people do need resources from this industry. This industry is designed to, yes, sometimes deliver effective and efficacious solutions. There are lots of effective, efficacious solutions out there that people have to try in order to find the right solution for themselves. So I'm not beating down the very industry that I have profited from. I just want you to recognize the difference so that you can move through and navigate this industry so that it doesn't drain you and you're not disappointed in the industry. You have to be discerning. So wellness is a perspective. It basically gives you a formula and tells you do this or do that and you'll be healthy. The same morning routine for everyone, the same diet for everyone, the same workout for everyone. And it doesn't really matter that you are different from me, that you have different needs, different schedules, different bodies. Wellness does not care about that because personalization does not scale. You cannot sell a million people a million different solutions. You sell everyone the same solution and hope that they don't notice that it doesn't fit. That's how the wellness industry works. Another thing is that wellness is obsessed with how things look, the aesthetic, the before and after photos. Again, trust me, I know I've been there, I've done that. To some degree, I'm still very much immersed in the wellness industry. But because of all the things that I've learned, I'm trying to do better and I'm sharing with you what I have learned. Do with it what you will. So it's basically performance based and it's about showing everybody how healthy you are, not about feeling good in your own body. And these are the things that I recognized during my tenure as an entrepreneur, having a health and wellness business, a small indie beauty brand, Clean Beauty at that, that focused on very specific ingredients and the well-being of the body. I learned that in order to scale, you had to do something different because it wasn't about how people actually felt, but it was about how people actually looked. And so let's talk about accessibility for a moment. The best of the best in wellness costs money, a lot of money. Organic groceries, boutique fitness classes, wellness retreats, personal trainers, fancy supplements. So, more or less, wellness has become the luxury good that signals to people, hey, look at me, I got my whole life together over here, and I can afford to take care of myself. And if you can't afford these things, the wellness culture sort of suggests that, well, maybe you're not trying hard enough, which honestly is messed up. And again, I know this because of my tenure as an entrepreneur in the wellness space, having an omni-channel brick and mortar and online clean beauty company that won best small indie beauty brand, having my individual beauty product some years prior and both businesses closing. I learned a lot. I was in awe of the things that I learned, but these are just the facts. And again, I'm not trying to shame anyone. I'm not even trying to bash the industry that I'm still a part of. These are just the realities of what is. And again, when you have information, you can move differently, right? So this is just information. Do with it again as you please. Now let's move on to well-being as something personal, because that's the contrast here. Wellness versus well-being. Well-being is not something you can buy. It's something you feel. It's that internal sense of, yeah, I'm okay. My life feels right to me. Well-being is deeply personal. So what brings you well-being may be totally, and I'm sure is totally different from what brings me well-being. Maybe you need quiet and solitude, and maybe I need the constant stimulation and community. Maybe you feel best with a structured routine. Maybe I need flexibility and spontaneity. And that's okay because that is the whole point. We are different, we are unique, and what we need is deeply individual and personal. So, well being is not about following somebody else's rules, it's about tuning into your life, your body, your needs, and harmonizing that. Even when, and especially when, it does not look social media worthy, it doesn't look Instagram worthy, or TikTok worthy, or Threads or Facebook worthy, especially then. So, here's what well being can actually look like. It's about sipping on your morning coffee or your lemon water without actually scrolling on your phone. And trust me, I have had to learn to do that. I've had to sit without feeling the need to reach for my phone to scroll through while I'm sipping on my, for me, it's a smoothie or some lemon water or some hot water, warm water, whatever the case is. I've had to learn to do that. It's saying no to plans because you genuinely need to rest and not because you are lazy. It's moving your body in a way that feels good to you, not punishing it. It's calling a friend when you're struggling instead of pretending that you have it all together. It's leaning into community, a community of care where other women, like minded women, are gathered in a space that's unifying and uplifting and scaling health, physical, spiritual, mental, emotional health, rather than scaling profits. So well-being is unglamorous. It's private. You can't really perform it on a post on social media or threads, and you definitely cannot buy it. Well-being is also very dynamic. What you may need tomorrow or next week is very different from what you need today. What you might need this calendar year is maybe very different from what you needed last calendar year. What you need this year might be different because you have to accommodate the fact that you are, or maybe in perimenopause, or you might be in postmenopause, or whatever it is that's happened with your physical, spiritual, emotional body that you may need to accommodate. Whatever growth that is, or whatever physical change that you might have experienced, requires that your well-being is aligned with that. So that means that you have to constantly check in. Check in with, what do I actually need, as opposed to what does society says I need. That requires you to be honest with yourself about what you actually need, instead of what you think people may think you need. You know what I mean? And here is the thing, well being is free. It does not require you to spend one dime. This is about putting to use my AAA technique that I talk about: awareness, acknowledgement, and action. And that requires looking in, that checking in that I just mentioned. But you don't have to add this into your cart. None of it goes into your cart. It goes here. Okay? Now for the third part of this, why all of this really matters. The thing is, when we confuse wellness with well-being, we end up spending all of our time, energy, money chasing the wrong thing. We buy products, we follow the routines, we post the progress pics, and then we wonder why we're still feeling anxious, still feeling disconnected, and still feeling like we're not enough. So the wellness industry has taken things that used to be simple, like walking or sitting quietly or eating food to enjoy, and they have convinced us that we need some special gear, premium memberships, and expert guidance in order to do these things and do them right. Again, don't get me wrong. Some people, because of the fast-paced world that we live in, simply don't have the time and need guidance. And some people just don't have the knowledge, and they don't have the wherewithal to figure out how to do things in a sustainable way. They need help, they need support, right? But again, if you utilize discernment, you'll know the things that you don't need and the things that you do need. So you'll know the things that you need to invest your money and time in, and the things that you don't even need to bother investing your money and time in. But by knowing the difference, it's easier for you to navigate how that's going to look for you. Another thing the wellness industry loves to do is take meaningful practices from other cultures, basically appropriate other cultures, like yoga and meditation or burning sage, strip them of their actual meaning and context, and sell them back to us as lifestyle accessories. So it's not about spiritual growth and community anymore. Rather, it's about aesthetic and your brand. But one of the biggest problems I see within the wellness industry is comparison. So we're constantly looking at everyone else's perfectly highlighted wellness routine, and many feel like failures because their real lives, and sometimes our real lives, don't match their perfectly curated content. Keyword there is curated. Okay? Keep that in the back of your mind. And so the thing is, comparison is seriously the enemy of well-being. Well-being requires you to stop looking sideways at what everyone else is doing and start looking inward at what you actually need. So here's what I want you to hear. You are not broken. You do not need to be fixed. You don't need a more expensive workout gear or workout plan or a better supplement stack or a more optimized morning routine. What you need is permission to be human, permission to be imperfect, permission to trust yourself and what you need, even if it doesn't look like what the internet says it should look like. And yes, you'll still buy things. You'll still go out and search for the thing that works best for you. And that might mean trial and error. So you may spend some money and that didn't work for you. So here's my challenge to you. For the next week, I want you to ask yourself one question every time you're about to do something for your health. Am I doing this because it genuinely makes me feel better or because I think I'm supposed to? Am I going to this workout class because I love how it makes me feel or because I feel guilty if I don't? Am I eating this salad because it sounds good or because I genuinely want to feel good? Am I posting this morning routine because it's authentic in my life or because I'm performing wellness? And if the answer is because I'm supposed to, stop. Just stop. And ask yourself, what did I actually need in that moment? Maybe it was rest. Perhaps it was connection. Maybe it was 5 minutes of doing absolutely nothing. Well being is never, ever about doing more. Most of the times, a lot of the times, it's about actually doing less. And for those of you who know me and have known me way back many years ago, especially during my ownership of Inside Out Beauty Market, you know that one of my mantras then was less is more. Yeah, so most of the time, it's doing less. It's about simplifying. It's about getting quiet to actually hear what you need instead of what everybody else is shouting to you that you need. Because here is the truth. The deepest sources of our well-being has always been free. Presence, connection, self-compassion, purpose, rest. You can't bottle these things. You can't brand them, and you definitely can't sell them for something 99, 39.99 or 19.99. They're free. So tap into well-being. Yes, tap into the wellness industry because it provides us with some of the things that we need, but not all of the things that we need. So go within. The thing is, you have a lot of what you need. I'm not saying you have everything you need, you have a lot of what you need. And so I want to end with another one of my mantras I held during my tenure as the CEO and founder of Inside Out Beauty Market, which is beauty comes from the inside, inside outer beauty market. If you hear that name, it was always about going within before we go without. And that was the foundation of the business I built, going within to figure out what we needed externally. So go within. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. What's one wellness thing that you've been doing that doesn't actually make you feel good? And what's something simple that genuinely supports your well-being? If you want more content about well aging, cutting through the BS, and living intentionally, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification button so you don't miss future videos. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. And remember, you don't need to buy your way into feeling good. You just need to come home to yourself.